Welcome to Bullworth Academy, one of the finest schools that the world has to offer, known for its wonderful hospitality and making students feel welcome. Renowned for its great educational purposes, with a no bullying policy and a warm welcoming smile on your arrival, with wonderful facilities where you're guaranteed no skid marks on the toilet bowl, with lockers rammed with educational knowledge and definitely not bodies. There's sports activities, and a wonderful coach, Mr. Burden, who loves wrestling naughty young little boys. This is Morgan Freeman. I hope I've made you feel ready for your Bullworth experience. You shall be coming away confident and with plenty of friends.
Oh, Russell gonna come.
Time to turn this shit off. Hi, I'm Jimmy Hopkins. And who's based? Me. That's who.
That is right, it's Jimmy Hopkins, the only base person you need to know at Bullworth Academy. This kid came in fresh and new from several other schools that he's attended and has been suspended in plenty of them. Bullworth is rotten to the core, and Jimmy's like a new fresh perspective what the school needs to change it for the better. I mean, this kid is super based, he outsmarts most adults, he's got a high intellect, and even people who are bigger and stronger than him, he outbeats them every single time. So, if we're looking at a few base moments from Jimmy Hopkins, I think we should start here. The kid only just arrived at the school, and he pretty much had a good summary on how bad it is.
So here I am at probably the worst school in the country, whose alumni are nothing but arms dealers, serial killers, and corporate lawyers. Real scum. And that old creep thinks he can tame me? We shall see, my friend. I only give people what they have coming to them.
Jimmy Hopkins must be a damn psychic. But nah, he's just based. He managed to predict what it was like at Bullworth before he even arrived, with sex pest teachers.
How do I put this? I'm in charge of the laundry this week.
Discretion is my middle name, sir.
Great! So go and collect all the dirty laundry from the, girls' dorm.
To an ex-military arms dealer homeless man living behind the school.
Should I?
Because otherwise I'll kill you.
What's your problem?
That's a long story. You got any liquor?
No, I'm 15.
Well, what about drugs?
No!
Then why shouldn't I kill you?
Alright then, tough guy, kill me!
And Jimmy would expose Mr. Hattrick, first-class sellout teacher, selling test answers to the rich kids, keeping the wealthy of Bullworth happy.
It's that fat, evil hypocrite selling test answers to rich kids. Fire him!
What? You took pictures?
And to think I trusted you, Hattrick? You're fired.
And what about the creepy janitor that looms the Bullworth school? He says some really creepy weird stuff which happens to make us believe that perhaps he could be a serial killer, just as Jimmy pointed out early in the game. There's even creepy posters of what looks like the janitor at the Bullworth cinema. Even one poster saying the janitor massacre. Ugh, freaky. And whilst Jimmy likes to put bullies in their place and get justice, one is the case for Mr. Galloway. Sure, he might be a bit of a drunk, but he's a good guy, and if Jimmy didn't come to his rescue, then, well, who knows what would have happened to Mr. Galloway. Whilst there's certain people who have bad flaws, Jimmy can see the good within them, and that is based.
What on earth are you doing here?
Ms. Phillips sent me. She's really worried about you. Come on, let's get out of here.
Hattrick was right. I am a loser.
No, you're not. Don't be ridiculous. Come on, we can't let bullies like Mr. Hattrick win.
I mean, Edna's a pretty foul teacher too, but she ain't all that bad. I mean, if you like spit and bogeys in your food, then you're in for a lovely treat. But it's a base moment from Jimmy as he holds back people trying to destroy Edna's date. I just don't think Jimmy understood how fucked up it was as she was using sleeping pills to use only what one dark imagination could come up with.
About time I show you what I know about chemistry! And a little biology.
So there's quite a lot of cliques and gangs at Bullworth, most of which stick to their own circles. It's fair to say that Jimmy gets a good lowdown for who he's dealing with thanks to one of his supposed friends, Gary Smith, that stirs up all this trouble between all the cliques that Jimmy has to deal with at Bullworth. And one of those being Russell, the ringleader of the bullies. Jimmy is being manipulated, should we say, to go to the hole to fight Russell, where Gary's being using his twisted psychology to turn people against one another. But it's base because Jimmy absolutely wrecks Russell, who is twice the size of him, but at the end of the fight, and makes sure that Russell is okay. And the most base thing is setting an example to the other kids watching that why you shouldn't bully weaker kids.
Yeah?
Look, I never said anything about your mom or farmyard animals.
You did it?
No, but I want you to stop bullying weak kids.
Why?
Because there are a bunch of kids around this place who need a beating, and you're picking on the few who don't. So I want you to leave me and him alone.
In the self-entitled Trust Fund Preppies, where Jimmy has himself a altercation with most of the clique, he finds himself having to box the whole entire clique, and of course wins.
It's me! Who's the man? Me! Me, losers! Me! The champion, #1! I killed the best! I will beat the rest!
Which makes it based as fuck, because Jimmy probably has no previous boxing experience, only what he's learned from the homeless man behind the bus, and just after he beats them all in the gym, he actually takes it to Darby and beats his rich ass outside of the boxing ring.
Who's the boss now? I can't hear you, rich kids! Who's the boss now, my waspy little friend? Answer the question! You are... Louder! You are... Good! That's right! Me! Now you girls, learn to play nice.
And then we move to the greaseballs who are still living in the past. Jimmy would have himself a problem with the greasers, which were in their senior year. Once again, Gary going around spreading false things about Jimmy, causing way more conflict. But let's not forget Lola has her part to play in this too, as her womanly charms have Johnny wrapped round her finger, and Jimmy having an interest. But once again, Jimmy would teach a lesson to another clique, removing the grease from Bullworth.
Who won? You. Who? Jimmy Hopkins. Correct.
And of course Jimmy would bring down the head of the clique, Johnny Vincent.
Told you, I was the daddy. Got it? I'm in charge, you do what I say.
All right, I give up. You can have her.
Who? What are you talking about, Johnny?
Lola, you win. She's yours.
This has nothing to do with her, man. I don't care. You can keep that slut for yourself.
What? You don't want her? Then why did you do this? Why'd you fight? Just to prove you're tougher than me?
That's right. And don't you or your boys forget it. I'm tougher than you, so maybe now you'll stop bullying everyone.
So it's the nerds that Jimmy's having trouble with this time, and ironically, Jimmy's actually treated the nerds most kindly out of most cliques. But once again, this clique would be no match for the likes of Jimmy, as nerds are not really known for their fighting, they're more for their intellect and intelligence. But they do have some cool gadgets though, and Jimmy being based in Sigma could have beat Ernest for all that he had done, but instead shows him some kindness.
Now listen, we both want the same thing, to teach those jocks a lesson. From now on, we're buddies.
You have a funny way of showing friendship.
We're friends. We work together.
So with a little bit of help from the nerds, Jimmy Hopkins would take down probably the biggest bullies in the whole school, which would be the jocks, the nerds' arch nemesis. And once again, Jimmy just absolutely dominates and takes out these jockstrap pussies.
That's right, losers! Yeah! You did it! I'm king of the school! Oh, you beat them all in front of everybody! Thanks for your help, Petey.
So Jimmy did what the teachers failed to do and bring peace and harmony to the school. Most of the cliques were all friends now and everybody seemed to get along. But there was more obstacles in Jimmy's way, as Gary was also spreading more trouble around the town of Bullworth, having more problems to deal with, like the townies. This moment's based as fuck, because Jimmy basically reunited the school and made everybody cool with one another. That's based.
Hey Jimmy, what's going on? Everything. I did it, man.
But things wasn't working out as smoothly as it was, as Jimmy would now get suspended from school. But boy did he tell Grabblesnitch some truths about Bullworth.
Bullworth is not for you.
I'm not the one who's funny. You know what's funny? You. You're a joke, you old creep. You and your stuck-up, lame-ass school, with its bullies, its sex-pest teachers. This place is a dump, and you're a big-nosed freak. This school rewards losers and bullies. I just stand up to them.
And so Jimmy stands up to Edgar, the ringleader of the townies, which is the biggest guy of the clique. He is tough, and let's say he is a lot older than Jimmy, and it's probably one of most Jimmy's dangerous fights as he's fighting near an acid pit. You could say the townies are like the outcasts, the outsiders. They're lacking the education because they can't afford the funds to go to Bullworth and the teachers won't allow them in. Cool thing is, Jimmy and Edgar put their differences aside and bring order to Bullworth School, which is currently up in chaos thanks to Gary.
Either. Come on, You're gonna help me make him pay for his lies.
And Jimmy, being the base guy that he is, puts an end to this entire mess that Gary had started at the very beginning. Gary being the biggest coward and evil psychotic one of the bunch, Jimmy would finally put an end to his madness, and earn the respect from Crabblesnitch and plenty of other teachers within the school who had good intentions.
I'm smarter than you!
Oh, congratulations! You're smarter than me! You hate everyone and everyone hates you! Genius!
The head likes me! I tied him up, turned his dog to school into a battleground, got kids expelled, unfairly, put several others into therapy, and he still likes me!
You're such a loser!
And Jimmy, being the super humble guy that he is, mentions a few other people along the way that helped him get to the top. And he also mentions Zoe, because let's be honest, she needs an education, and Jimmy doesn't forget about her.
Honest, sir, I did have a lot of help from some friends. Like this girl, Zoe. She got expelled because she complained about Mr. Burton hitting on her.
Burton? Well, he's fired. I hope he rots in hell.
And a guy named Peter Kowalski, good friend of mine.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, well, he keeps quiet. He's kind of shy.
Shy? The boy must be a genius. Why, he should be head of the school.
Pete? Great idea.
So, it's fair to say that Jimmy Hopkins is the most base character that Rockstar has ever done. The beauty of it is that Jimmy didn't need to be part of a clique to feel important. Jimmy was happy being himself and didn't care if anyone didn't like him. And with his absolute amazing ability to overcome challenges and obstacles and stand up for what he believes in and putting bullies aside no matter how big and strong they are and fighting for what he believes in. Now that is based. So guys, you let me know what you think is Jimmy Hopkins' most base moments and if there's anything that I missed. Well anyway, I'll leave this one with Jimmy.
Yo, it's Jimmy Hopkins. Remember to like and subscribe. All things Voice Box.